Hello, this is Kai, and today I'll be talking about how to fight Plague Knight for Shovel Knight's any percent route using the Chaos Orb. And Plague Knight is a very dangerous fight that gives a lot of new players trouble, gives a lot of veteran players trouble, so it's something that I highly recommend investing time into practicing. Plague Knight is much less about knowing a specific strat and instead knowing what to expect out of him. Let's start off by taking a look at one way you would like the fight to turn out. Now, alternatively, Plague Knight could end up doing some slightly different shenanigans, and your fight may resemble something like this. The point being, Plague Knight has some fairly predictable behaviors, but your player execution will determine what he does next, where he ends up going, and basically how the fight will actually play out in the long run. So we'll take a look at the first kill I did, and we'll break that down. You'll notice that as I enter the room, I actually walk straight off the ledge, and some players would say that you should jump off the ledge because it gets you closer to the far right wall. The reason why you want to do that is because Plague Knight will always appear directly behind you at the start of the encounter. Plague Knight will then attempt to jump to the nearest corner. By walking straight off, I actually set myself up to chuck 2 Chaos Orbs at the start of the fight, and then do an additional short hop to get 1 hit on Plague Knight. Do 2 ground attacks, jump up, and try to reflect the potion as you hit Plague Knight. Now because Plague Knight gets on the other side of me here, I just turn around and start doing as much damage as I can. I get about 4 hits before he jumps. I try to get back to the corner and do a backwards damage boost to wedge myself between him and the vats. I do as many hits on the ground as I can before I'll jump and throw 1 more Chaos Orb to finish the fight. So that explains how I did that fight, but it doesn't quite explain how Plague Knight is predictable. Well, here's a couple of the things that I know that Plague Knight will attempt to do for sure, and this is why that kill works. Well, like I said before, I know that Plague Knight wants to try and get in the corner, so I'm going to do as much damage to him as possible before I actually get there myself. Thus, you should always be able to start the fight with these 2 orbs and this 1 short hop hit. And you want it to be a short hop so that you don't get hit with the potion he chucks, and so that you can reflect it later. Now after his initial hop, Plague Knight will attempt to do either 2 short hops and then a long hop, or he'll do 1 short hop and then 1 long hop. In this pattern, he did 2 short hops, and I wound up on the right side of him. Now Plague Knight always tries to get back to the nearest corner that he's facing, and he'll always face Shovel Knight first. So by getting on the right side of him, I trick him into jumping back into the same corner. This is important because it lines up with Plague Knight's health being low enough for him to use his desperation move, which is covering the floor in vats. And by doing so, I get the chance to wedge myself between him and the vats and secure a quick kill. So what happens if Plague Knight doesn't go to the right side? He's definitely done a lot of crazy things before, and we can't expect him to do the same thing every time. On this kill, pay attention to how I deal damage to him and what I do in case he doesn't go to the right side. Starts off about the same way, 2 orbs, a small hop to hit him in the air, 2 on the ground, 2 in the air, reflected 1 potion, 2 attacks on the ground, 2 attacks in the air, and now Plague Knight's heading to the left side. I chuck some orbs just to try and get additional hits on him. He did 1 extra hop before actually landing, which means that I had enough time to get over there before he put his vats up, because his health was definitely low enough to activate his DM. This allows me to get the same setup to kill him pretty much as quickly and secure a clean kill. And now here are your 2 kills side by side for your viewing pleasure. Good luck. Thanks for watching.